The abundance episode. What an energy.
Abundance episode.
Yeah.
Are we on the same
number
page here?
Well, the number 8.
The number 8. I was like,
Good things are gonna
I
come
didn't think
from
we were
this
talking
one.
about abundance today.
No, we're not. But we are.
All right, cool.
Yep.
And that looks good in front of your face. Well, it's not in front of your face, is what I mean.
That's the blessing of it.
Okay, welcome back to Astrocandy. We hope you guys are doing well. How are you feeling today, Brittany? Let's hop into our vibe check.
I'm feeling amazing.
Are you?
Yeah, you and I had a great talk off
really
camera
did,
earlier.
yes.
You know that fires up my soul?
I know.
I love a good, deep, philosophical chat.
I know, because you're so emo.
I'm so emo, guys. It's
The most emo. You know, Brittany
problematic.
studied philosophy in school. Your story is so interesting because you do all this TV stuff. Mm-hmm. You're an excellent interviewer, which I've told her before. It's such an art. Nice. There's an art to the interview, and Brittany's great at it. You'll just have to watch B-ZenTV to see for yourself. But it blows my mind that you did not study like journalism or communications. You actually majored in philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, I got into acting because I'm emo, of course, duh.
Yeah.
After philosophy. And then did some PR in a weird way, kind of, because I love people. I like that made sense, right?
Total opposite.
And then, I know, for real. No, really.
I was just saying earlier.
That's so funny. You were.
I was just saying earlier, I was like, yeah, I don't like people.
Yeah, she said it. But like you do.
It's true.
You do. She just, you need a lot of like alone time to recharge. Like you said last episode, you have to recharge your batteries.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
But yeah, and then, I don't know, just kind of worked out. It's weird. It was definitely like a universe thing.
Oh, for sure.
But I love what I do now because I get to get emo and talk to people about their deepest, most transformational moments. So I'm still emo.
That's what we were talking about. Not to like get too deep into it, but just when like there are people around you who don't necessarily see your way of thinking and they challenge you on it to a point where then you start questioning what you're doing in your life path or your beliefs or whatever. And it's just so hard when those people are close to you. And of course it comes from such a genuine place. They just want to protect you and see the best for you, but it kind of messes with your vibe, which is why which is why mine is a little like today. But that's okay.
That's why we're all here, right?
That is life.
Like we're all the astronauts here together. We're not perfect. We don't know
the other ones. Astronauts and
sweethearts.
You don't know.
Wait.
These are your people.
The sweethearts, we haven't like collected all the votes yet.
That's true. We haven't.
But I think we're going to go with sweethearts.
For sure, astronauts. My boyfriend said, is there something here?
Just a little bit of red lipstick.
Oh, how did that happen? Can you get it?
It's so tiny. There you go.
My boyfriend was like, he watched the first episode before anybody. I gave him that exclusive sneak. And he was like.
Lucky man.
He was like, I think your fellow astro nerds will love this.
Astro nerds, that's funny.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cute.
That's really cute.
I kind of like it. So.
You guys, that's so cute.
Let us know what you think, what you want with that. But anyway.
Who are we?
Who are we? My vibe was like, it was like a freaking roller coaster today. But that's okay, because that's life. And
that is life.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately, because those experiences, it's the lows that make the highs so great. But I hate when people, I just I'm trying not to say it because I don't want to pinpoint any specific, but it's the people who just are constantly everything is so great and awesome and and I'm just no, it's just not. No, sometimes no. If we're being, unless you're I don't want to be rude. Unless you're a sociopath, you don't have any emotions, you don't care about anyone or anything really. Yeah, you can be fake like that. But the truth is, life is full of ups and downs. It is.
That's why the journey is important and not the destination. Cliche, because it's true. All of life is the journey.
Yeah.
There are very tiny moments where you're like, I've made it here.
Yeah. And they're very brief.
They're brief.
You'll be like, I'm on top of the world, and you fall off the mountain.
For 5 minutes, yeah.
5 minutes, and then something else happens. I can't even say. But yeah, Astrocandy also, we want to keep a consistent theme of authenticity. So Brittany and I are not afraid to tell you when life just kind of sucks.
Yeah, sometimes it totally sucks.
Sometimes it totally sucks. So let's get into today's topic, which is new to me. I'm not sure if it's new to you. Is it new to you? Have you? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Just wanted that.
Yeah, she wants to stick her finger. She's getting me back for last week.
Last week, yeah. Is this new to you, this topic of shadow work? Have you heard about it?
I have heard about it. I used to think it was really weird.
Well,
but now.
What's changed? Like, what?
I've talked to more people.
Okay, about it?
I've learned more about it.
Okay.
Like, in the very beginning of my spiritual journey, it was all about like manifestation and like positivity and da-da-da. And I was kind of disowning the reality of my shadow side, which we all have one, depending on what you subscribe to. But for the purposes of this, we both think that you have one. And it's great because you get to learn about yourself and you can own your truth. The good, the bad, the ugly, like we're all human.
True.
So that's how I look at your shadow side.
So in doing some research on this, because disclaimer, we're not professionals. I think
we're professional.
I mean, we're
at living
professional,
life.
But like we're not like
no, we're
therapists by any means. So
Good
if you
Lord.
have any questions on like uncovering, unearthing, would be maybe the more astro way of saying it, your shadow, then it's gonna take time.
Totally.
But I think let's go into this conversation about like what exactly is your shadow. And in doing some research, I said conflicting, but Brittany was like, actually, I think these two work together. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive. The shadow can refer to our subconscious. So those things from our childhood memories, experiences that we have suppressed and then therefore bring to light. So we're bringing those subconscious memories, the shadow, to light when we do shadow work. In a different context, according to Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, the shadow consists of those parts of ourselves that we choose to repress or hide that we don't like. Like, let's think about that for a second.
Or Carl.
Think about the things about yourself that you don't like, and so therefore you don't share, not even just with the world, but like even with yourself.
With yourself. That's where the subconscious thing happens.
That's
like the really deep things are the ones that get pushed down.
It's very deep rooted too. And what sucks, but I mean, knowing is knowledge is power. Those things that you're suppressing, they affect your day to day, your conscious every day. So,
arguably, those things are your biggest lessons. So, like our shadow side, although it sounds like really weird, like shadow, but I think of it like as the things that are in the dark, the things that you're learning about, right? The things that you need to bring your light to. And when you look at it, it takes away the power. It's not so scary or weird anymore. It's just like, hey, I'm projecting this onto this person because deep down, I'm like that, or I have a fear about it, or whatever, right?
Exactly. And here's like, I'm just gonna be honest, because that's what we're doing
Do
here.
Do it.
One of the things about me that I've like brought to light recently, and I don't even think I realized I was doing shadow work when I realized it, but I don't like this about myself, hence why I repress it, but I can just have sudden outbursts of anger. I mean, they are warranted in the sense that like something made me angry. It's not just like random.
It was a trigger. It's not like she's just walking down the street like, oh my God, freaking out. Yeah.
There was always a trigger, but I can just go from 0 to 100 so quick. And I don't like this about myself. And here's the thing, because I don't like it about myself, I repress it, but I notice it in other people.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
So I'll point it out and almost villainize that person. I'll be like, I don't like this person because they just are angry. They can just suddenly burst into anger. And I don't like that about that person because guess what? I don't like it about me. And that
Raven,
is essentially what the shadow is and doing. Well, that's not really doing the work, but that's just
a good example.
Being aware of what it is. So think about what it is about yourself that you don't show many people, but shows up in other people because it's in you.
Right. Anything you have a strong reaction to. And if you take a moment to kind of think about it or do some journaling, if you really think about it, like there's certain things that just like get to you in life. And those are the things that tell you about your shadow. And like that's how you kind of start the work.
Yes, that's how you
just
start the
become
work.
aware of it.
I mean, there's so much power in just knowing what your shadow is because I mean, think about this. If I didn't know that I am, prone to angry outbursts, and I would just see this in all these other people, like, what a vapid, for lack of a better word, way of living. It's just like almost clueless.
Yeah.
Whereas since I know that about myself and I see it in other people, not only can I have a sense of compassion for that other person because I know where it's coming from, and understanding for them and forgiveness and grace, now I can channel that into myself as far as like a deeper understanding and more forgiveness and grace.
Well said, my friend.
You.
Yes.
I mean,
that's so true.
It's work. I mean, they don't call it shadow work for nothing. So let's talk about how you can, here's this that I want to note. Several examples of shadow aspects are selfishness, aggressive impulses, being self-centered, arrogance, shameful experiences, and fears. So, do a second. Think about what it could be.
I'm like, check.
Yeah. All of the above.
My shadow's raging.
And then let's talk about ways that we can start to work through this, which I feel like Brittany can better speak on, because we were having this conversation off camera and she very eloquently talked about how to work through these things. So do you want to kind of give them?
Sure. I mean, clearly my shadow is huge, which is why I can speak on this.
Yeah.
No,
First-hand knowledge. No,
yeah, for sure. Well, but actually, for real. So yeah, we were just kind of discussing like our own experiences with it. And I think that a lot of the time we push away our shadow because it's human nature and we don't want to be seen as bad even to our own selves, right? Well, especially to ourselves.
I mean, we're the hero in our own story.
And everyone is the hero in their own story, right? And so it's like, you got to kind of, when you communicate with other people, you have to kind of take a step back. And the more you know your shadow, the more in control or mindful you can be about the way that you interact. And the more rewarding and the deeper your relationships with others will be, I think.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
You have to just own your stuff before you can really connect or have compassion. And if we were all perfect, we would be
boring.
Yeah, honestly, we would. We'd be so boring. We wouldn't understand each other, And so I think our shadows are like a gift and part of why we're here, so that we can learn. And I think it's like an ongoing, lifelong process. It's not like today I know my shadow.
It's not like a one sitting kind of thing. And you definitely have to give yourself, like I said, some grace, because these are deep rooted, subconscious aspects of you that maybe however old you are, that's how long that they've been in you. So how old am I? Oh my God. How old am I? 28. Oh, I'm so old.
My birthday's tomorrow. Don't make me come fight you.
But I just feel like, well, let's say happy birthday to Brittany, because we're not going to be with her on her birthday. So
thanks, guys. I'm receiving.
Happy birthday.
My shadow is such a selfish little fame. Anyway.
Did you say fame whore?
Yeah, I stopped because I was like, that's not nice for the podcast.
I think I've said fuck on this podcast.
But remember when we first started, we were like, we're not going to curse.
Yeah, well, that was then and this is now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is 8 episodes in.
Our truth.
So as far as, doing your shadow work and where to start, the first thing you want to do, like Brittany mentioned, is identifying what it is. You just have to okay, that's my thing. Just like my thing was, I have some anger issues. Yeah. Sudden outbursts of rage. No big deal. So that's
and I really can be self-centered. I mean, if Raven's going to say her shadow, mutual self-disclosure, you're not the only one out here hanging out to dry.
Yeah, thank you.
I was
need attention
hoping
and
you
would throw yourself under the bus too.
I need a lot of attention and love, because I get all emo if I don't have love. So,
and then your next step is to just accept that about yourself, because I don't want to say you can't change it, because part of doing the shadow work is an effort to change it. But sometimes there are maybe some things that you really can't change. So the first step, not first, I guess second, is just accepting this about yourself and loving yourself through it, because it's not, I don't want to be like, well, yeah, it's not your fault. You know what I mean?
We all have shadows.
We all have shadows.
And shame, I think, is the one thing that can kind of separate you from your shadow And that's when you get the real weirdos. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, but it's true. Like, the more you deny and the more you push into your subconscious, like,
exactly.
Like, you can't be like a split personality. I mean, you have to just be like, hey, I'm not perfect. This is me.
Exactly.
I'm going to work on it. I'm going to forgive this trait in others. And then you keep moving.
And those types of people are just the ones that you can really identify and connect with. Let's be honest. You would rather be friends with a person who knows their flaws and embraces them than the person who just thinks that I can do no wrong and I'm just so perfect.
It would be such an awkward
situation. Again, the point is we're not perfect. So anybody pretending to be, it's almost like a big red flag.
Run away.
Run fast.
You're right. That is a red flag.
It is a red flag.
Wow.
They definitely haven't done their shadow work. So after you accept what it is, oh, I already mentioned this. See, this is like you have to love yourself through it. Yeah. So this says to bring love and compassion to your shadows. You bring them to light and welcome them back to you. Then embody. As you now own and love your shadows, you can consciously embody them and leverage them for your personal growth and development. So I guess I would say, like, for me with the angry outbursts, I really hate saying that. Like, did you sense that? Like,
yep, I felt it. She was like, I can't even say it.
It just sucks because it's ugly. It's ugly. And that is the shadow, I guess.
That's our shadow, right? And that's why we have to, like, the more we love our shadow, I feel like the happier we'll be in life.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, hard to do.
It is.
It's really hard.
So once you do that, embody, which is leveraging for your personal growth, it's just, again, you have a better understanding of how you operate. You can give grace to other people. And then for me, when it comes to, like, let's just say sitting in traffic and somebody cuts me off, you know, and I just start to take a second, understand I'm about to, you know, overreact to something very minor. And this is why, because this is just how I am, but let's change the narrative.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was a good shadow, like,
it's freaking hard.
Shadow
like,
breakdown.
Just talking about it, talking about the work is just as
half
exhausting.
the work, okay?
Doing the work.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
It's true. Yeah.
I get it. And, like, do you think that, okay, so have you ever thought about, like, where it comes from? Do you ever think, like, where did I get that? Where did I pick that one up?
Yeah, I know exactly
where. I
where.
have a theory about, okay, go ahead.
I mean, I love my father, but this is just something that I saw in my childhood. We're very similar people. Yeah. And I don't know what exactly. I think it's like a lack of control.
I was just going to say, I feel like anger can be turned into power when channeled the right way.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think a control power thing.
But I think it's like, because I have a lack of control, especially like if somebody cuts me off in traffic, it's like I think I have the power or the advantage by the sudden outburst. You know, I'm trying to take back that control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
My dad, I mean, love him so much. We are the same person. He's the same way. You know, when something goes awry or not according to plan, it's that like worked up energy that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just it is what it is.
But because you know that, you can have a better relationship with him. And then the next time you have an outburst, you're like, okay, I get that this is maybe just how I'm being. And you don't like torch that relationship.
Exactly.
Right? The beauty of our shadow.
Or the alternative, if you didn't know, say you do have like these ugly outbursts of anger, like they just blind you.
Yeah.
Like there's no further understanding of self when you just are engulfed in a rage and think that you're right.
Yeah.
Because just living in this world, like it's a fact. You can't be right all the time. And you really have to like, it allows you, doing that shadow work allows you to step into a new perspective, and just open your mind, I guess, because when we're so stuck in ourselves, it's tunnel vision and you just have a smaller, more narrow way of looking at the world. Whereas if you do the inner work, you can see other people in a different way and yourself in a different way. And it really just opens up your world.
Totally. Oh my gosh. I just had a feeling like I need to do more shadow work today.
I mean, don't we all?
It made me think of something. I'm like, oh, God.
It's a lifelong process,
It's
Britt.
a thing, guys. It really is. But I think the cool thing is like being part of this kind of I don't know, this generation or whatever. I feel like people are way more open these days. Instead of like judging ourselves, we're more open to like owning stuff and and
it's
really growing.
It's very trendy now.
And thank goodness.
Self-improvement is so in right now.
We need it. I mean,
especially in 2020.
Oh, this is the perfect time.
The year of self-improvement.
Go deep into your shadow.
True, though. I mean, you have so much time.
And I feel like our shadows are really exposed during this time.
Yeah, for sure.
So it can be a blessing in a way.
Okay, so just take that for what it is. If you have any questions, you can always email us at astrocandypodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to talk to you more about shadow work. If you have questions that you would like us to answer on the podcast, I was thinking maybe one day we could do just like a Astrocandy Q&A.
That'd be so much fun, you guys. Yeah.
Lob questions at us. No specific topic.
Yeah.
And just we can just answer. But my favorite part of the show, I love the show, just period.
She loves everything about it.
I do love everything about it. I think it's a great show, but I'm a little
shadow
biased.
is trying to make her pick one thing.
I want to do spirit guide. I love when you guys write in. You guys have such interesting predicaments and stories and scenarios. So please continue to send those to us at astrocandypodcast@gmail.com. And so let's read one. She did not want to be named, so we will respect that.
Fair enough.
You don't want us to say your name, we won't. Okay. This is pretty good, so I'm excited about this.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I met a man and I fell in love.
Oh, congratulations.
I know, congrats. Big deal. I mean, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
He's everything I've ever wanted, but he's moving to Colorado to pursue his career.
No.
There's always just a little hang up.
God.
It's always a roadblock. He's interested in a long-term relationship, but it seems irrational and irresponsible to commit to someone with no intention of being physically near them. My home is in California, but his heart is in the mountains. Should I make it work or chalk this up to unrequited love? Okay, so before we pull the tarot card, which is advice moving forward. And it's a card that you can look at, and Brittany will explain the card. It's something that you can channel intuitively to kind of see if it resonates with your scenario, see if, I don't know.
Yeah, your subconscious holds so many truths, right? Like we're so powerful. Deep down, you kind of know in your gut, right? Like you know what you really want. But like I feel like, have you ever done like a bracket? Or flipped a coin, like you'll know what you really want in that moment that the other thing is chosen.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
So it's kind of just like a way to tap into that,
right,
more quickly.
But before we do, what do you think about this particular scenario?
So I think it's tough. I mean, if you have no intention of ever being in the same place, that's tough.
I feel like that's a little premature. Like, how can you say like?
That's my shadow.
How can you say that, you never have an intention? What if you do decide to do the long distance thing and then you realize like while you're long distance and you're visiting him in the mountains, oh my gosh, this is way better than California. And like, you can't rule it out entirely. So let's not rule it out entirely.
Right.
That's my way of viewing this is give it a chance. What do you have to lose? Aww. Literally, what do you have to lose? Maybe it'll end in heartbreak. Okay. Maybe it'll end in the loss of a couple $1,000s if you're spending it on plane tickets.
What doesn't again? Okay.
Exactly. True though. But anyway, okay. What do you think?
If you have heavy Sagittarius in your chart, it's a definite yes. Because you love adventure and like it just depends on who you are. But spirit guide has spoken, or our intuition has spoken. And you got the 2 of Pentacles. Balance. Basically exactly what Raven said. Balance. So it's doing both. It's doing both.
It's not one or the
other.
other.
You're here, he's here. Just learn how to balance. Take the middle path. Don't dive all in. I would say don't dive all into him. Don't wall yourself off. Just kind of see what happens. Like do it in a way that feels right to you and let everything unfold.
I think the best way to do it too is to just, why don't you go visit him? Mm-hmm. See how that goes, and then have him visit you, see how that goes, and go from there. Like you just have to like balance it out, do both, and see what happens.
And if it's love, it'll find a way. Like
it
really will.
Trust.
It really will. Sounds cliche, but it's true.
I know.
It'll
That's the
work
thing
out.
about cliches is they are true. That's why people say.
That's why they're made up. Yeah.
So as far as for our modern day mantra, did I change this? Yeah, I did. Okay. I was like, well, what does this relate to? Shadow work. If we don't change, we don't grow. If we don't grow, we aren't really living. That's according to Gail Sheehy, an author. If we don't change, we don't grow.
Yeah.
That's so true. Because, I mean, think about, oh God, where would I be if I never decided to change jobs? Or if I never decided to change, I mean, I just feel like for me, my life is constantly evolving. My life is change. So I can't imagine, being the same person I am while also having stayed in Columbus, Ohio, never seeking more. So there's that. And then also, if we don't grow, we aren't really living, because life is meant to transform you.
Totally.
And I think that if you aren't changing a situation or circumstance, then you really are shortchanging yourself.
Totally.
You're not really living life to its fullest.
Totally. And I think we all have a desire to want to control things, especially the things that are the most important to us, because it's just our natural reaction, right? And because we care. And I think that the more you can kind of subscribe to this wonderful mantra that Raven picked out, the more you can really just embrace life as it is and allow things to flow. And again, don't reject yourself or your shadow or your experiences or your growth. Become your own best friend. And then that will allow you to really get the most out of your life. And you might not know where you're going, but the journey. I'm so emo. But
it's true, though.
It's the journey,
the journey,
guys. And the more you embrace it, the more fun you'll have. And life is, this is all limited. So
yeah,
I say embrace your journey. We love you guys.
Grow,
We're glad
evolve.
you're here. We're glad you're astronauts.
Yeah.
Stick with it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Imperfectly, but we're doing it.
And that's it. Another episode of Astrocandy. Our camera's about to run off, so we're going. Bye.
Bye, guys.